You feel it, don't you? That gnawing sensation in your chest at 3 a.m. the moment you put your phone down. An unnamed dread. The problem isn't the caffeine. The problem is that we are humans running on Stone Age software. A brain hardwired for hunting and gathering, forced to operate on modern buggy hardware. We evolved to fear the shadows in a cave, but now we are facing a shadow a billion times larger. The collapse of reality. Scientists promised you a perfect universe. They told you space was homogeneous, smooth and balanced. A sweet lie to keep you feeling safe in your tiny cocoon. But the latest data from 2026 just dealt a fatal blow. The universe is lopsided. It's not expanding evenly. It's leaking toward a preferred direction. It's as if you're standing on a massive ship and suddenly realize the deck is tilting toward the abyss. Reality is not stable. It's being dragged off course by something outside our observation. Something so titanically vast that it turns our entire galaxy into a speck of dust being sucked into a vacuum cleaner. We believed in isotropy like a religion. Stand anywhere, look in any direction, and the universe must be the same. No center, no boundaries, no preference. An absolute fairness of the void. It was never authentically proven, but it worked. It made the mathematical models stable. It made the predictions consistent. We believed because we wanted to believe. But by 2026, a solitary number emerged in the data. A deviation. 9%. A 9% difference in the expansion rate, depending on which way you look. That number is small enough for the conservatives to ignore, but far too consistent for a sober mind to overlook. The universe is not symmetrical. It is lopsided. It is distorted. Look at the way you live to understand why this 9% deviation is so terrifying. You are operating on a brain designed to track the movement of prey in the brush, yet you are being forced to process a 9% crash of a cryptocurrency on an LED screen. Galaxies do not stand still. They drift. They cluster. They collide. But behind those local movements, something far more monstrous is at work. A large-scale motion. An organized drift. Billions of galaxies at unimaginable distances, all moving in a single, unified direction. This is not random expansion. This is a flow. Do you ever feel like you're trapped in a similar flow? That sensation when you wake up at 7 a.m., brush your teeth, take the same commute, and stare at the same exhausted faces in the elevator. You scroll through TikTok for 2 hours, only to realize you've traded your life for things you won't even remember 5 minutes later. You buy things you don't need, with money you don't have, to impress people you don't like. This is the modern hardware glitching. You think you're choosing freely, but in reality, you are just a speck of dust swept away by a social current designed to erode your identity. Your Stone Age brain is screaming for a real purpose, but all it receives are hollow push notifications. Scientists call this phenomenon dark flow, a term that sounds like science fiction, yet is deeply rooted in the actual measurements of the cosmic microwave background, the lingering echoes of the moment everything began. When astronomers map this motion, it isn't chaotic. It looks like a migration, It's as if all matter is being sucked towards something beyond the observable horizon, a foreign shore, a direction we cannot see, only infer. We are not silent observers. We are part of this motion. You, the room you're sitting in, and the billions of galaxies out there. All of us are caught in a slow, silent current through space. What if this isn't random? What if the universe actually has a diary style, and we have fallen into its sights? We do not travel by choice. We drift like debris within a larger system, something that doesn't need to reveal itself, to govern everything, from the orbit of a star to the anxiety in your heart tonight. Don't delude yourself into thinking you have control. The truth is, you are on an unmanned ship heading toward a void for which no one has a map. The exhaustion you feel is not your fault. It's the result of trying to row against the tide in a universe that decided its course billions of years ago. We are not space explorers. We are merely passengers on a train hurtling toward a vast entity waiting to swallow everything. Look at your phone screen once more. Where is that flow taking you? Or rather, is it carrying you toward AI? For decades, dark matter has been described with a single word: cold. Slow, non-interactive, a silent scaffolding holding galaxies together so they don't fly apart. It doesn't emit light. It doesn't absorb light. It simply exists like a harmless ghost. But look at your own life. You were taught that you are a rational being, calm, collected, and in control of your emotions. But what is the truth? You explode in rage over a comment from a stranger on social media. Your heart races at the sight of a missed call from your boss late at night. You are consumed by envy while scrolling through the filtered vacation photos of an old friend. This is your Stone Age software overheating. You aren't cold. You are a chaotic mass of energy trapped in a cramped social cage. We weren't designed to endure this constant psychological friction. We are burning from the inside out, just like the machinery of the universe. The latest research from 2026 is shattering that silence. Dark matter might not be cold at all. It may have been born in a high-energy inferno at the dawn of time. Hot, dynamic, faster than we ever imagined. If this is true, its role is far more complex than a passive frame. Because heat means motion. Motion means interaction. Not necessarily with us, but with itself. A self-interacting system capable of forming structures, perhaps even evolving over time. If dark matter can move, cluster, and react, it is no longer just a background. It is a system, and systems always change. What if the invisible mass of the universe isn't passive? What if it's playing a game we aren't equipped to understand? Not necessarily life, not necessarily consciousness, but an intentional operation. A system fine-tuning itself right under our noses. How do you recognize something that emits no energy yet shapes every outcome? The truth is, you can't. You are living in a reality molded by invisible hands you were never granted permission to see. Your misery, your anxiety, and that lingering sense of dread are likely not personal failures. They are the reactions of a primitive brain sensing the shifting gears of a titanically vast system changing course. Dark matter isn't just holding the galaxy in place. It is cooking your reality. We are not the masters of this world. We are merely bacteria clinging to the hull of a machine that is heating up, waiting for the moment the system decides to reboot. Most of the universe is not filled with brilliant galaxies. It is empty. Or at least, that is how we comfort ourselves. The voids, titanic regions of space where matter is scarce, light fades, and structure nearly vanishes. Do you ever feel that same emptiness in the middle of a crowded room? That sensation of sitting in a bustling cafe, yet feeling completely detached, as if an invisible wall separates you from the world. The hollow aftermath of achieving a goal you thought would make you happy, only to realize there is still a bottomless black hole inside you. You fill that gap with shopping, with shallow relationships, with checking in at glamorous places, but your Stone Age software knows these are just desperate attempts to deny a primal solitude. We fear the silence. We fear facing ourselves, because in that silence, you can hear the cracking of reality. But modern observations from 2026 are revealing a terrifying truth. These voids are not stagnant. They expand. They shift. They interact violently with the surrounding structures. They don't just sit there. They push. While galaxies cluster along cosmic filaments, the voids swell between them like a growing negative space. Imagine the entire universe is Buratan G. Galaxies drift along the threads, while the voids contract and expand like colossal lungs. Of course, the universe doesn't breathe in a biological sense, but it operates as if space itself has its own rhythm. What if emptiness isn't passive? What if it's part of the machinery? Not an absence, but a function. Those vast dark regions are not holes, they are processes. Spaces where something is happening. Something we lack the tools to detect. A system purifying or restructuring matter through the medium of its own emptiness. Do not trust your sense of security. The truth is, you are not the center of the story. You are a tiny fragment caught between the breaths of a titanically vast entity you cannot comprehend. The emptiness you feel in your heart is not a psychological flaw. It is a resonance between your primitive soul and the pulse of the void. We are not living on solid ground. We are standing on the skin of a swelling lung, waiting for the moment it exhales the entirety of human existence into permanent darkness. The universe does not need your presence to keep breathing. It only needs you to be silent and disappear. When scientists simulate the universe at its largest scale, they see patterns, filaments, galaxy clusters, voids, a colossal cosmic web. It looks identical to neural networks, to biological systems, structures emerging, perfectly organized. But look at how you are desperately trying to organize your own life. You use time, management apps, count every step, measure every calorie, struggling to find order in an existence that is inherently drifting. You believe you understand the world because you carry the internet in your pocket. But in reality, you are merely consuming scraps of digital trash curated by an algorithm. You confuse information with intelligence. Your Stone Age software is trying to impose mediocre rules onto a multidimensional reality. We are like ants crawling across a circuit board, proud of our understanding of the terrain, blissfully unaware that beneath our feet lies a data stream capable of wiping out our entire species with a single power cut. The resemblance between the universe and the brain is likely no accident. In the 2026 models of self, interacting dark matter particles don't just cluster mindlessly. They form stable configurations. They react to density. They adjust to gravitational conditions. This is complex behavior. Not consciousness as we define it, but structuredness, like a system following protocols we have yet to decode. Something ancient. Something fundamental. It carries the traits of ancient mythological systems, where invisible forces molded tangible reality. What if the universe isn't just governed by dry physical laws, but built upon interactions we've never even named? What if the complexity is so vast that we mistake it for randomness? Those who constantly question reality are often the first to recognize these patterns, because they don't stop at what is visible. They seek structure in the silence. They sense that the architecture of the cosmos isn't chaotic. It is simply beyond our current capacity to comprehend. The truth is, you are not an observer. You are a part of that structure, a tiny pixel in a massive painting that is painting itself. Do not search for human meaning among the stars. The universe does not operate for you, nor does it operate against you. It simply operates. Your exhaustion, your anxiety, and your sense of being lost tonight are merely signals that your primitive brain has hit its hard limit. This system is not glitching. Only your understanding is incomplete, and while you are busy searching for answers, that silent architecture continues to expand, breathe, and observe as you vanish into the void. We began this journey with two fractures, an uneven expansion, and a form of matter that is likely not as passive as we once thought. But now, everything has come into sharper focus, a drifting universe, voids swelling like a breath, an invisible mass interacting with itself, individually. These ideas might seem unbelievable, yet debatable. But when you piece them together, they don't depict a broken universe. They reveal a reality we have completely misunderstood. Look at the way you live. You think you are the player in this life, but in reality, you are merely reacting to algorithms. You think you are observing the world through a screen, but that screen is actually re-engineering how your brain functions. You believe you have free will, while every desire is pre-programmed by modern hardware to serve a titanically vast consumption system. Your Stone Age software is deceiving you into believing you are at the center. But the truth is, you are not an outsider looking in. You are a line of code running inside of it. We have always assumed we are the observers, standing apart, looking in, measuring, mapping. But what if that perspective is fundamentally flawed? What if we are not outside the system, but embedded within it? Not observers, but participants, components. micro elements of a structure moving toward something we cannot perceive. Galaxies are not inanimate objects. They are elements in a process. Space is not empty, it is active. The universe isn't expanding into a void, it is reorganizing into something else. Those sensitive enough to sense the instability of reality will see these first signs. Not because they are hidden, but because they are too subtle. So subtle they are unrecognizable until they begin to align. We scour the universe for answers, for origins, for meaning. But perhaps the deeper question is, are we exploring the universe, or are we submerged deep within it? A system observing itself, trying to understand its own structure from the inside. If that is true, then the most distant galaxies you see are not just far away. They are part of something you are already inside of, something vast, slow, and shifting. You aren't watching it. You are moving with it toward a direction you cannot yet see. All the misery, the anxiety, and the hardware glitches you endure daily are merely tiny vibrations as this system shifts its weight. Don't look for an exit, because there is no outside to escape to. You have only two choices: continue living as a glitched line of code, or accept that you are a fragment of a grand architecture that is currently rebooting itself